News Network, Radyo Ronda, DZBS Baguio. Member, kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas.
Three presidential candidates came together on Easter Sunday to announce in a news conference that no way were they going to withdraw from the race. During the Q&A, Isko Moreno said he wanted Leni Robredo to drop her presidential bid. He even used a basketball analogy, saying any one of them could sub for her and perhaps make a three-point shot. Both Ping Lacson and Bert Gonzalez disowned that statement. Manny Pacquiao nowhere to be found. His plane hovering above Manila, waiting for the go signal to land. Manny's campaign manager said it was a blessing in disguise that he missed out on that press con. The aftermath spawned jokes and memes, references to Easter egg hunts at a luxury hotel, stealing the spotlight from a risen Christ, and many, many more. But there's only 3 weeks to go before D-Day. So what now and what next? What unity versus the uni team? Has everything gone? Are we looking at a President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.? Because if we are, then maybe we should get with the program. Good evening, I'm Pia Ontiveros. Welcome to your weekly political appointment fix, politics as usual.
The press con indirectly endorsed Mayor Isko Moreno, but unwittingly reinforced a potential Marcos victory. No? But at this stage, their combined survey average is between 5 to 6%. No? What transpired yesterday was apparently a unity among non-players who have become potential spoilers in the final leg of the campaign.
Our guests tonight, political analyst Richard Hedarian, joining us here in the studio, and the head of Manila Mayor Isko Moreno's volunteers group, Gilbert Lawenco, and joining us via Zoom, the campaign manager of Senator Manny Pacquiao, Mr. Buddy Zamora, and Vice President Leni Robredo spokesperson Barry Gutierrez. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you very much for being with us. But before we begin this discussion, let me first bring in our correspondent, Cian Arcangel. She is on the campaign trail with Senator Manny Pacquiao in Ilocos Norte. Cian, the campaign sending mixed messages on the senator's behalf 2 days after that press con. Cian?
Pia, Senator Manny Pacquiao's campaign manager, Buddy Zamora, said in a television interview that Pacquiao was really on his way to the press conference at the Manila Peninsula Hotel, but his plane was unable to land in Manila until after it ended. Reporters covering Pacquiao were told that he would go straight to Manila Pen from General Santos City. It was announced during the press conference that Pacquiao would instead come out with a recorded message, but no video has been released. Given the criticism that the presser has received, Zamora said it was divine intervention that Pacquiao did not show up. But Pacquiao's running mate, Buhay Party List Congressman Lito Atienza, insists that the senator actually never planned on going to the Manila Pen. Pacquiao has yet to speak about his absence at the press conference. Yesterday, he attended a prayer meeting in Marikina, but this was closed to the media. We managed to record Pacquiao coming in and out of the church, but we were not allowed inside and there were no opportunities for an interview. Pacquiao did not have any public engagements today, and his team said that he was busy having meetings at his home at Forbes Park. Pia?
So, Cian, tell us more about the take of Senator Pacquiao's campaign manager.
Pia, Buddy Zamora said in the television interview that he was relieved about Pacquiao's absence, given that the presidential candidates who attended the press conference were heavily criticized. Some have questioned why the male candidates were seemingly ganging up on Vice President Leni Robredo, who was not at the Manila Pen and is the only female presidential bet. Zamora said Pacquiao simply wanted to reiterate that he was not backing out of the presidential race had he been at the press conference. Pia?
Cian, what does Zamora, Mr. Zamora, who by the way is our guest tonight, say about Isko Moreno's call for VP Robredo to withdraw?
Pia, Zamora says that Pacquiao is not in favor of anyone backing out of the presidential race. Tomorrow, we expect Pacquiao to finally break his silence about his absence at the Manila Peninsula press conference when he campaigns here in Ilocos Norte. Pacquiao is expected to have a full day ahead with motorcades scheduled across 8 towns and a grand rally that will be held here at San Nicolas Plaza. Pia?
CNR Kanghelda reporting live from Ilocos Norte. Well, let's now go to our guests. All right, where do we begin? We have a lot to talk about tonight. Let's start with this. No? Did you all have a restful Holy Week? Barry, you first, very quickly.
Well, I was having a restful Holy Week until Sunday.
Until Sunday
Then
morning.
all of a sudden, I had to watch a press conference. But yeah,
Okay.
generally it was more restful than it has been at any other time in the last 6 months. So,
Yeah.
we should be grateful for, small blessings.
Oh, interesting yung sagot mo. Babalikan natin yun kasi it shows when you knew what was going on. But anyway, Sir Buddy, how was your
Yes.
Holy Week?
I had a fine Holy Week. Spent my time playing golf, my golf course at Puerto Azul. So I played Thursday and Friday.
Okay. Gilbert Lauenco?
Well, obviously, I did not have a restful Holy Week. Because even during the Holy Week, we normally have meetings with other people. And on that Sunday, of course, definitely, it was not a restful day for me.
Yeah, and I guess hindi rin restful yung Thursday, Friday, Saturday mo dahil
Yes.
pinaghandaan nyo yun, ano?
Ano.
Okay. And Richard?
Well, I mean, I'm quite workaholic, so I observe my Sabbath very strictly, right? So kaya hindi ako pumatol sa Twitter or anything like that. Sabi ko, patulan ko yan sa Monday. And since then, hindi pa tapos the fallout. Yeah.
Okay, ade patulan na rin natin ngayong gabi. So, you didn't think I'd start with that question because, the usual peace and quiet of an Easter Sunday, when I say usual, no, we're used to that kasi, shattered by this, pasensya na, shattered talaga, by this Easter egg hunt. Sorry, Easter Sunday press conference that never was. So, let's have Gilbert first, explain this to us on behalf of his principal. And by the way, disclosure, Gilbert and I are college batchmates at the Ateneo. So, Gilbert, kaya mo yan ipaliwanag sa amin? And like we Ateneans say, one big fight. Go ahead.
Well, yes, actually, the primary purpose of that press conference very simple and straightforward. It was a response to repeated and increasing calls for all the candidates there to withdraw in favor
Lenny
of
Robredo's favor.
Yes, in favor of
Yeah.
one candidate. So this discussion started way back, but then there was an agreement between all the candidates in question to issue a press statement stating, number one, they will not be withdrawing, that they will continue to fight till the end, and number two, they are uniting for a clean and honest election with specific statement na there should be no irregularities and that they will respect the sanctity of the election. And that was the primary goal of that particular press con at that particular time.
But two things, no. In the last few weeks, that was what your principal, what Senator Ping, what everybody else, was saying.
Yes.
Di ba?
Yes.
In press conferences, in ambush interviews, even on Twitter, yan din naman ang sinasabi. Why the need to call a press conference like that?
Because although they
I mean,
already...
even if you have to emphasize something, and
Yeah,
why did, like people say, why did you just tweet, send out an email,
Yeah.
post on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, even?
The rationale was there was already statements to that effect that we will not be withdrawing, but the statements or the call for withdrawal still came on repeatedly, and it was an increase in nature. So they decided perhaps a press conference would say, sorry, don't factor in us withdrawing in your campaign strategy was in order. That was the rationale behind it. So they wanted to make it as official and as in a united front to once and for all stop all the speculations. Well, that was the rationale for that press conference.
Yeah, you wanted to stop the speculation,
Yes.
but it didn't stop. And now,
Well-
para bang nangitlog tuloy, hindi ba? But anyway, babalikan natin yan. Let's go to Sir Buddy Zamora, who is campaign manager for Senator Manny Pacquiao. Joining us again, like I said earlier, via Zoom. So, Sir Buddy, you're, nakahinga pala kayo ng maluwag, no? Because as you've been widely quoted, you're very relieved that Senator Manny did not join that press conference. Can you explain to us more why?
Well, we were surprised that there was going to be a press conduct Sunday noon, because this was arranged between Senators Lacson and Senator Pacquiao. We were quite surprised that to find out that there was going to be a press con to be held in in Manila Pen. But we were aware that Senator Pacquiao had said yes to attending the press con. So he was really on his way from Jensan to Manila to attend the affair. Unfortunately, they're forced to go around for almost an hour in the air. And upon landing, they were even forced also to delay their taxi due to the air traffic. So that led to the non-appearance of Manny Pacquiao in the the presser.
Unfortunately or fortunately?
Well, on hindsight, no, fortunately, but we didn't know what was to happen, because everything transpired between two senators while Senator Pacquiao was in Jensen, while the rest of us were all enjoying our Easter vacation.
Well, when did you and the rest of the team find out about this press conference? Saturday night or early Sunday morning?
I found out about it Saturday night.
Okay. But they were planning it since when? Kailan pa pinag-uusapan ni Manny at ni Ping?
That I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So hindi oo. Because yeah, ang sinasabi ng iba is that sadya na hindi nakarating si Manny Pacquiao. So sadya or nagkataon
No, that's
lang
not
na hindi
true.
lang makaland ang eroplano?
That's not true. I think you can check from the records that the plane was overhead for so long, for almost an hour.
Yeah. So Manny was good with the statement that no, we're not withdrawing, but he did not agree with that statement that Isko Moreno came out with during the Q&A na pinapag-withdraw niya si Lenny.
Yes, definitely. We do not agree on calling on anybody to withdraw. As I said, it's illogical for anybody to go this far and then withdraw at the very last minute.
Yeah. Well, let's bring in Barry Gutierrez, spokesperson for the Lenny Robredo campaign. Exactly when did you find out about this, Barry? You and the rest of the campaign team, that this press conference was happening, like at 11 o'clock that same morning? Or, were you forewarned a few hours before that, a few minutes before that?
Same as Sir Buddy, we got an advisory. I think they sent out the advisory to media the evening before. So Saturday evening, we already knew there was going to be a press conference. But at that point, it was not yet clear what the press conference was going to be about. And it wasn't even clear who would be there present at the press conference.
Yeah. At hindi naman kayo napraning nun.
No, our position has always been that our focus is on our own campaign, on what we need to do in the remaining 3 weeks until election day. So, if these other candidates wanted to hold the press conference, and from the initial indications at least, they were going to simply say, we're going to push through with our campaigns, then, that was certainly their privilege. And if they felt that they really needed to throw an Easter Sunday morning press conference to say that, then, that was their call.
Richard Heydarian here in the studio with us, joining us live. Richard, did they unwittingly secure a BBM victory, or did somebody gain from this? And when we say gain, we're talking victory already, because we only have 3 weeks to go. And I use the word unwittingly because we are allergic to that word. When used in the political context, it brought a president to his knees.
Yeah, I think the happiest man in the Philippines, at least over the past few days, was the supposed front runner. No question about it. To be honest, the first time I heard about it, hindi ko pinatulan, but I kind of saw it in my feeds and all. I said, okay, maybe what's happening here is that Isko Moreno is creating a new front by asking some of the other candidates who are not very competitive to actually rally behind him. And I thought that would make it interesting because I think I've been one of the folks saying that this could be a three-way race, not a two-way race or 2.5-way race. But apparently something else has happened. I know we're going to take a break, so I'm not going to go too much into what I'm going to say. We're going to continue this later on. Sure.
Oy, thank you, co-anchor
Of course,
Richard.
of course,
Yeah, that's right. As Richard said, we have to be back. After this quick break, stay tuned.
Given the nature of our presidential elections, it's a winner-take-all contest. And obviously, the finals will be between the first and second placer. At this stage in the game, there's no room for third, fourth, or even fifth placer.
Welcome back. This is Politics as Usual, your weekly political appointment fix. I'm Pio Ontiveros, and joining us tonight, my guest co-anchor, political analyst Richard Herderian, the head of Manila Mayor Isko Moreno's Volunteers Group, Gilbert Lawenco, like I said, my college batchmate, and via Zoom, Senator Manny Pacquiao's campaign manager, Buddy Zamora, and VP Lenny Robredo, spokesperson Barry Gutierrez, talking to us, like I said, via Zoom. Earlier, we had Cian Arcangel from the Isko Moreno, from the Manny Pacquiao I'm talking, Manny Pacquiao campaign. Okay. Confusing, ang dami kasing kandidato. Dapat kasi dalawa na lang eh. But anyway, okay. Ibang issue yan. Ibang episode yan. Balikan natin si Richard. Richard, continue what you were saying.
That's good. Yeah. No problem. You can pass over me if you need that.
No.
I don't want to get into the quagmire. No, I mean, going back to that, akala ko actually what could happen, I thought that would be a good strategic move by the Isko campaign is to ask let's be honest, Isko is administration friendly, but obviously a rival of Bongbong Marcos.
Right.
Bongbong Marcos got Sara Duterte on his side, but not President Duterte on his side. So I was thinking what's going to happen here is that Isko is going to get some of the other candidates who work in this administration, who are close to this administration, and who statistically do not have any chance to make it forward to rally behind him. It may be 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, but the multiplier effect, the prestige effect could be strong. I think that's what's going to happen.
He could have gotten them to rally behind him if he had stuck to the script, diba?
Right.
No, just saying, we're not withdrawing, and then, we're for honest
and my point is that
and then period.
I thought
diba?
it's going to be a unity kind of conversation. Paano
Hindi
naman
na unity ngayon. Paano yun?
I thought it was a unity, but paano ka naman mag-unity kung walang mag-withdraw? So I don't see it's like unity in not withdrawing. I just don't see what's going on. And it was just layers and layers of
Different messages.
It was unfathomable, let's just say. And then the other thing was our number 3, 5, and number 12 asking number 2 to drop out and sub for number 2 versus number 1. I don't get the math. Right? I just don't see the math. So there's so many layers to this that went completely against what I was expecting because I really thought this is going to be an important strategic move. Isko has a lot of overlap with BBM, not as much perhaps with Lenny. Yeah. So any surge in Isko's numbers would make this race much more competitive, even to the benefit of the Lenny side. Mm-hmm. I was thinking that was going to be the direction. Now we're in a completely different picture. That's what I'm saying. If you're Bongbong now, popcorn's out.
Yeah. Gilbert, sagutin mo yan.
Well, in one instance, I would agree with Mr. Hadrian, no? But at the beginning, it was really just simply we were not going to withdraw.
Yeah.
But then during the Q&A, things popped out.
Yeah.
But we will not back down from the call because although that was spontaneous at that particular point.
Spontaneous meaning off script.
Yes, it was spontaneous. But, this feeling has always been there with our candidate. Because it started in October 2020 when Madam Vice President filed her candidacy. This hashtag withdraw Isko started and so on and so forth. And it got into a level that it was very much increasing for the past few days. So he kind of felt, coming from where where he's been, sabi, bakit ako ang pinapa-withdraw nyo? Ikaw ang mag-withdraw. It's always been there at the back of his mind. Yeah. So it came out during the Q&A.
Then why doesn't he just ignore it?
Which one? The question?
Yeah,
he's very transparent. He, as you say, you see, he will tell you what he feels at that particular point. He's not going to cover it. So in that sense,
but the problem was that he went off script, and therefore you lost control, right?
No, because we always we always anticipate that our candidate will sometimes go off script because he's very transparent. He will tell you what he feels at that particular moment. He will not filter it for the sake of politics or campaign, because that's who he is. Kung ano yung nararamdaman niya, he will tell you at that particular point. And he's not going to change for whatever
Kanina you
reason.
said because it came up, no? And for a while, from different sides, no?
Yes.
Saying na, kasi kasalanan ng media yan eh. Bakit kasalanan ng media yan? Kayo naman yung sumasagot.
Well,
you know, no matter what the media asks, I mean, it's up to the candidate to answer or parry the question, right? So why you know...
Well, I was not there when he answered kasalanan ng media, but knowing from his past responses, he normally says, well, it came out because there was a question, so I answered. So I think in that sense, that's what he wanted to say. It might not have come out exactly that way, but knowing him, he would say, well, the question came up, I answered the way I felt. That's how we would explain it.
Okay. Let's go back to Buddy Zamora, campaign manager for Senator Manny Pacquiao. Sir Buddy, like earlier, no, we already said that hindi ito. No, we're going to Buddy, not Barry. Buddy Zamora. Yeah. Thank you, Direk. Let's go to Buddy Zamora. He's still there, right?
I'm here.
Yeah, okay. Well, sir, okay. Kanina, nabanggit na, no, na this is not something that Senator Manny Pacquiao agrees with, no? Ayaw naman niya na sabihin na mag-withdraw si Lenny. Can you explain to us more why that sentiment? And then we're going to ask other questions. Go ahead.
What's the question again?
This is not the call for Lenny Robredo to withdraw, which Isko Moreno made. Manny Pacquiao does not agree with that, right? Can you explain to us more why?
Well, in the first place, I don't think she will withdraw. So what's the use of asking her to withdraw?
Okay. And when Manny found out na yan ang nasabi ni Isko Moreno, ano yung sinabi niya?
Well, he found out only after reviewing the videotape that was what Mayor Moreno was asking for.
And what
For
were his
them
exact
to
words?
withdraw.
What were Senator Manny Pacquiao's exact words when he found out that was what was said?
Well, we've always had friendly. We were always in friendly terms with the VP, and I think you could witness from the body language in the previous presidential debate that it was the two communicating with each other, while the others were another group. So I myself, I came from, remember, I supported Pinoy Aquino in 2010 elections. So we were all together during the Aquino administration. And most of those who followed Lenny are also my friends.
Even some in the Isko Moreno campaign?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Barry, can you respond to that sentiment, no? Na this is something that, well, like Gilbert was explaining earlier, it was off script. It wasn't meant to be said at all. Although ito yung na-highlight sa totoo lang. And for lack of a better word, nasapawan yung original message, right, Gilbert? Barry?
Well, if it wasn't supposed to be said, then it shouldn't have been said. And the point is, there has been ample time to walk it back. They have not taken the opportunity. In fact, my understanding is they've doubled down on this particular call. But unlike other candidates, a call for us to withdraw is something we will simply ignore, and we will proceed with our own campaign. We are adults after all. We know that in the course of election season, there will be different opinions. Some of them will be opinions you don't like. People will be saying many things to you, calling on you to do different things. And if you don't agree, then simply do what you've been doing. We don't feel the need to call a press conference to say that we are proceeding and we are turning down the call of Mayor Isko for VP Lenny to withdraw. I don't think that's necessary at this stage, particularly at this late stage of the campaign with only 20 days to go before the election. I think our actions should speak for themselves. So if somebody says withdraw and you don't feel like doing so, then simply proceed with the campaign. That's what everybody is doing after all.
Barry, pero pag-usapan din natin ito, no? Nabanggit na rin ni Gilbert, no? All these calls for Isko and the others to withdraw in Lenny's favor, whether or not it is an official statement from the campaign. Let's just call a spade, these so-called lone wolves, no, na out on their own, not necessarily authorized, so-called by the campaign, but talking to the different campaigns na mag-withdraw na lang kayo in favor of Lenny, who is number 2, etc., whether or not there is imprimatur from the campaign. And of course, pwede niyong i-deny yan eh. But this is what, in a large part, led to all this, no? All this talk about withdrawing in her favor.
Well, let's be clear. There's only one person named who supposedly actually asked for a meeting with any of the 3 candidates who were present there on the Easter Sunday press conference. And we've already clarified that person was not authorized to speak for the campaign. But even the statements from Gilbert earlier, he was pointing to hashtags and statements on social media, which happened in October after VP Lenny filed her candidacy. So again, are we to be held to account for what people, individual netizens on Twitter or Facebook will express as their sentiment? I mean, this is a campaign. So part and parcel of it will be people, voters, Filipinos expressing their opinions on what the candidate should do. And I think that we should all be adults here and deal with these things in a professional manner. No need to actually throw a tantrum. No need to actually make a big thing out of it. If it's something that you don't agree with, then simply proceed with what you're doing. But definitely, this is not a case of us trying to pretend that we're not talking to them when, in fact, the fact of the matter is there have been no conversations, at least actively pursued by the campaign since October of last year.
But part and parcel of the Lenny campaign is a very strong social media presence also. Don't deny that, Barry. Ikaw talaga.
Well, true,
More,
but-
sandali lang. We have to take a break. Sandali lang. More from our guests when we return. This is Politics as Usual.